not too spicy. Not a lot of water in here. There's not water in here at all. It's just ice. If you want something to drink, just know the icy amount. Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom fighters. What's good? This is Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to Freedom's March. It is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. And I want to discuss a couple things real brief. I just want to discuss this real quick because it's very important, man. Very important. I'll start by saying this. If you don't have family, you don't really have anything to leave in this world, right? And the family is disappearing. Less and less people are concerned with creating families at an early age, right? At the crucial age, especially with women, right? Men can have babies until they're dead, right? Until their sperm stops being viable. And who knows when that's going to be, depending on the man's health. But women have a finite amount of eggs. And in this day and age, young women are foregoing building a family in order to do what? To have a career, to have a business that they feel like they want to run. Do me a favor, hit that like button when you come up in here. And they feel like, oh, this is the ticket right here. I need to be independent. Oh, I'm a woman, independent. I need to be independent. I need to put my career first. I need to go to school, all this, that, and the third, right? In their 20s. But then when they hit 26, 27, 28, into their 30s, they realize, like, look, there's more to life than what I have built for myself in this career and this job and this business that I so-called own. And I need something more. I want a family. I want a man to create a family with. But you wasted a good amount of your fertile years trying to be independent, only to find out that is not really what the business is. And when you finally get to that age where you want to finally have a family, well, most men that these women are looking for are not going to want them. All right. And what kind of man am I talking about? Because I have been looking into this. I've been looking at all type of videos, all type of interviews, doing the research and watching shows like The Pineapple Show. And invariably, every single female, every single woman wants the same 10% of men, right? The same 10% of men. But when you start getting into the different variables of those type of men, it really brings the numbers down even further. All right. They want a man that's 6 foot tall. They want a man that earns six figures. They want a man with six packs. And he got to be good looking, right? So let's just get into one of those at a time. The average earning man makes $50,000. All right. The average earning man makes $50,000. Starting with wages, starting with money. And once you start getting into six figures, now you're talking about 10% of men. 10% of men. Okay, 10% of men. And then when you start getting into height, 6 foot tall, my height or taller, you talking about, I don't even know exactly what that figure is. It's probably 10% as well. The average height of a man in this country is 5'9". Okay, not 6 foot, 5'9". And guess what? Not every man that's 6 foot or taller is going to be earning six figures. Not every man that earns six figures is going to be 6 foot or taller. And then let's get into the six pack. Well, you have to have a certain body fat percentage to have a six pack. You know what I'm saying? And so now you're shrinking the pool even further, right? And these are women that want this, typically in their 20s or whatever. They don't want these men to be a wife for. They just want them, for the time being. I want to explore my options. I want to do this. I want to do that. They don't even want to commit to these men, right? They just want to use these men for the resources they have, because that's part of female nature. But what's not part of female nature is wanting to wait until your later years to start having kids, to start having a family. You know what I'm saying? To build a family, to have a husband, to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? And so this is Brittany Renner is a perfect example of that type of woman. Because look at the type of men that she went for. Colin Kaepernick, Tyga, all these dudes that makes those millions of dollars, that makes those 6 to 7 figures. But she ran through them like it was nothing. Or they ran through her. They had their way with her. She had their way with them. You know what I'm saying? They knew that she wasn't wifey. She knew that she wasn't wifey. And so guess what? She just wanted to have her fun. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what she wanted. And then she wrote a tell-all book. Now she's approaching 30. She done had a kid with a basketball player or whatever. And now, not only is she almost 30, but she also has a kid that a man that will come in and wife her up would have to take care of. But guess what? The type of men she wants, they're not going to want to do that. She wants a high-earning man who's ticks all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? That ticks all the boxes. But it's not going to happen for her like that. It's not going to happen. And guess what? If it does happen, let's say it happens. Let's say a guy's like, okay, you know what? Brittany Renner fine as hell, even though without makeup, she looks a little, without makeup ain't all there. But she is, her sexuality and her promiscuous nature is out there for everybody to see in the world. And any man that takes on the responsibility of being her husband is going to be thinking about that. They're always going to be like, oh, well, shit, man, you got this reputation. I'm this certain level of man. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? The relationship is probably going to be an issue. If a man decides that that's what she wants, that's what he wants. Okay, let me get with Brittany Renner. They're going to be like, I don't know about that. And that's why she's where she is in her mind. That's why she changed her mind about being a 304 or whatever you want to call it. Now she done woke up. Now she done got a red pill, right? I would venture to guess that she always knew. She always knew what the best way to live her life. She knew what that was, but she just decided, nah, man, I'm gonna get what I want to get in. And Brittany Renner just represents, I'm sorry to say, Brittany Renner represents a large pool of women out here in the world today. The modern female, the modern woman, she represents a large amount of those women. Because you see it all the time. These women are like, oh, I'm 30 years old, I have a kid, I'm ready for a high value man, I bring this, I bring that. And they don't understand how men think. You understand? Like, I've been out of the dating market since 2008. I've been locked down since 2008. So what I've noticed is, from my early 20s, because in 2008 I was 28. But in my early 20s, women, Gen X women, right? I'm a Gen X guy. I'm a Gen Xer. Women in their 20s, when I was in my 20s, were they may have had some level of promiscuity, but even back then, they were looking for husbands, right? They were ready to get in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? In their 20s, they were looking for husbands. They were. More of them were looking for husbands then than they are now. But they were still on that independent shit was starting to creep in, or it was settling in those women of my generation. And then those women of my generation started putting it in the women of the next generation's head that, look, you need to fuck a job. I mean, you don't need a husband right away. You don't need a family right away. Go get your money. Go get your degree. All this, that, and the third. Put that first. And the women of my generation that started to have that mind state, they're in their 40s now. They're in their 40s, and many of them will never get a husband because they got multiple kids, or they're not going to get the husband they want. They're going to call themselves settling for an average man or something like that. So the next generation, Brittany Renner's generation, they're starting to realize it earlier. They're like, oh shit, I didn't fucked around all of my 20s, had all these dudes run through me, and I put it out there. I wrote a tell-all book. I'm on Instagram. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I got OnlyFans. You see me on IG, just twerking it everywhere. You see me in these man on the street videos talking about I don't want no husband. I'ma just swallow a bunch of D and all this. Just putting themselves out there for everybody to see. But when they get to that age where they're like, oh shit, I want something more for myself. Oh, now it's our fault. It's society's fault that you put yourself out there like that, and you got that scarlet letter attached to you for the rest of your life. Because everything you put out on the internet is forever. But you put yourself out there. You said, hey, I'm an independent woman. I can fuck as many dudes as a man can fuck any, we're equal, this, that, and third. But now you've left a stain on yourself. You left a stain in your image. And any man that pursues you is going to understand that. So they're going to pursue you for a certain purpose. They know that you give it up. They're going to pursue you for that purpose. You have a child. They know. They know you are an internet queen. You're an IG queen and IG model. They know you giving it up. That's what they want you for. And that's going to be the same for Brittany Renner. You see what I'm saying? And she's realizing that. She's like, oh shit, I did this in my past. I did that. I fucked up. All this, that, and the third. But she's still talking about, I know my worth. I know my value. Well, what is that worth? What is that value? What are you bringing? What value are you bringing to a man that you want that's in the top 10%? Because I can tell you myself as a man who earns a certain amount and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna say I'm a high value man or none of that bullshit, but I do earn a certain amount, and I have resources, and I'm resourceful. Meaning, this is something that people don't think about when they think about a high value man. The high value man can be a high value man in society that is not collapsed. But when the society is on the verge of collapse and systems break down, infrastructure breaks down, would those same high value men be resourceful in a world where there's no internet, there's no automation, there's scarce electricity, there's scarce fuel? Can they change a tire? Can they, you know what I'm saying? Can they build something? Can they craft something? So that's something I feel like a lot of people leave out when they talk about high value men. Like, what can you do with your hands, right? How dangerous are you, right? How, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to being a protector, right? How efficient are you in surviving? What level of survival are you able to sustain in case of a collapse? That's something that I feel like, you know, even if you don't earn six figures, but you are handy, you know, you have some field knowledge, right? Knowledge out in the field, you can craft things, you can, you know, start a fire, you can find water, know how to hunt, you know, all that type of shit, know how to defend yourself. To me, I place more value on that than on someone, a CEO who earns, you know, $1 million a year and all this other shit, works 18 hours a day and all that type of shit. You know, but that's just me. But nonetheless, Brittany Renner and women like her, it wouldn't be a problem if they were like, you know what? I'm at this age in life where I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to have a family. And I'm willing to do that with a good man that wants to build with me. That is on, you know, that's a good man, has good moral standards, and may not earn six figures. But guess what? You know, he's a hustler. He goes out and works, and he's a good man. And I might have to earn a living with him. You know what I'm saying? But at least I have that. At least I have that family I can build with him, and he's willing to accept me and my child. No, they don't get to that age and have that level of thinking. No, they get to that age where they might not have a lot of value on them, and they're like, oh no, I want the six figures, six pack, 6 feet or taller. You know what I'm saying? And he has to accept my son from another man. It just doesn't work like that. And 80% of women want the same amount of men. As a matter of fact, they did a survey. They did a study, a survey, and they discovered that women only find 20% of men attractive. So they think 80% of men are unattractive. It's wild. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? But that's just that's the reality of the world we're living in. That is the reality of the world we're living in right now. And this is why I say family is so important. And Brittany Renner, her situation where she's coming out like, oh, I know I made some mistakes, but I'm pretty sure people were in her ear telling her, letting her know, like, look, man, you need to slow all this down. You're doing too much. No one's going to want you later on in life if you keep this up. I have to believe that somebody had to tell her that. It just doesn't work like that. You can't just come out like that and be like, oh, I'm cute, you know, but you know, I'm just because you're cute, but you don't want to submit to a man. You don't want to be submissive. You don't want to be nurturing. You want to come in like you a boss and you want to run shit. Like, that's not, I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. My wife is around the same age as Brittany Renner. She's older than Brittany Renner, but she's in the same generation. And she is essentially an anomaly, right? Because she started with you know, she went to college. She was going to focus on college and a career and all this other shit. She was going to get into nursing. But she had an epiphany. She said right before she started dating me, right before she chose me, because she hollered at me. I didn't holler at her. She said she wanted to talk to me. But right before that, she was like, you know what? Fuck this college career shit. I want a husband. I want to be somebody's wife, and I want to be a stay-at-home wife. And she was 22 years old. Actually, she was 21 years old when we started dating. I was 28. You know what I'm saying? I'm 7 years older than her. She realized early on that this shit, this career shit, this college career shit ain't the diny. And so that's what she wanted. She rolled with it. She was like, you know what? And then she saw me. She saw what I was doing. And guess what? I wasn't earning six figures when we started dating. I was like a second year, first or second year apprentice, making $14 an hour. But she knew. Hold up. She knew that she could build with me and support me during my journey as from apprentice to a journeyman. And she was there every step of the way. So she actually built with me. She wasn't like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and get a ready-made nigga. No, she's like, this dude, he's a solid dude, good looking, all this, that, and the third. I'm gonna roll with this. We're gonna see what happens. And now she's never had to work 1 hour since we've been together. And during those years, you know, I've gotten promotion after promotion, raise after raise, to the level where I'm at now, where I still have more earning potential. And now I'm starting to look into doing other things towards financial freedom. And she's on that too. So she got on it early. But that's not so for a lot of these, a lot of women out here. And then she actually had a best friend. She was mad at my wife for wanting that lifestyle. When she got pregnant, she got her best friend got real mad, super mad, and they stopped hanging out for a long time. And she started seeing, oh, we having all these kids, and my wife didn't have to work, all this, that, and the third. And at some point, she's like, oh shit, I need that as well. So it took her 7 years after my wife, but she did the same thing at around age 29 or something like that, 28, 30 or something. She started having children and got her a husband. So she was blessed enough to find a man, a guy from, well, of African descent. I think he was like first generation American, but you know, I think his parents are Nigerian, straight from Nigeria. The point is, less and less women are behaving like this. And as you can see, the abortion rate is going up, right? Abortion rate is going up. The amount of women in the system getting government assistance has going up. You know, it's all bad, particularly for black families. And also, not only are less and less women ready to be wives at an earlier age.
Can I get out?
Yeah. They are, 80% of the divorces are initiated by black women. And that's a problem. And so, let's take this as we need to focus on building families. Because if we don't, we're going to have a problem with the population, with it's particularly the black population. It's going to be a problem in the future if we don't find a way to come together and show how important family is. Because for some reason that the importance of family has been removed from the black household. Let's see what y'all talking about real quick. Rodman, what's going on? Men will carry a woman at a higher clip. Stacy Kai, what's good? Spicy Kai. What did she bring to the table? Nothing. Passport bro is a real thing? Yes, it is. I think some women don't want to date down. I was looking at statistics. Black women hold college degrees. But that's the thing. See, they place they think that those college degrees in their earnings and careers, that men don't care about that. Men don't give a shit about that. They don't care about, I don't care about a woman's degree. My wife ain't got no degree. She didn't finish college. I didn't care nothing about no degree. I didn't say, did you get your degree? No. No. I didn't give a hot fuck about a degree. So that does not, dating down. I mean, I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree. I'm an electrician. I'm an electrical superintendent right now. But I didn't have to get a degree to do that. Yeah, I went through schooling. I went through an apprenticeship program. But most of the learning that I received was on the job. And there was some class time as well. But on the job training as I'm earning a living and getting, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be damned if a woman with a degree tried to play me like I was less than because I don't have a degree. But guess what? My apprenticeship program is going to have me earning more money than your sociology degree, your arts degree. You know, whatever the art that might be. English. That women, that's what they mostly go to school for. They don't go for engineering. They don't go for STEM classes, all that type of shit. They go for liberal arts and all that type of shit. Communications, business administration, all that type of shit. That's what they go for. I know plenty of women that have degrees and don't work in the field they got the degree for. So, dating down, I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to be like. No, they're not dating that. They feel like they're dating down because they think that degree gives them a leg up with men. It doesn't. It does not. Especially a high earning man. They don't care about no goddamn degree. What is your degree gonna do for him? What is your hourly? What is your salary gonna do for him? Nothing. And this is why I've been talking about this. I've been saying, you know, it's bullshit. It's a problem. And then you got women out there like Princella, who calls herself the queen maker. I don't know. You can't have a queen without a king, but she calls herself a queen maker. But she's a misandrist. She pushes anti-family. She doesn't want women to marry men. That's what she expressly said, that she teaches women not to marry men. Not, you know what I'm saying? She says she's convinced women not to want to marry men. Well, guess what? Don't marry a man. You want to go ahead. You'll be childless, and you know your legacy won't continue. I mean, you know, if you and you know, you got a lot of women out there, a lot of high profile women pushing divesting. Go ahead, divest. Go ahead. See where that gets you. Right? See where that gets you. Go ahead and divest. Not a problem. Because, you know, I'm sorry to say it, men can go somewhere else and get that. You know what I mean? It is the reality. One thing that I found amazing that she said, Princella, is that men, oh my God, men rely heavily on women to survive. Men rely heavily on women to survive. That's what she said. Dusty Naker's cremation service. What? I see what this conversation is about, Uncle Snap. Had to rewind to watch. No, it's all good. That's the most wild. That's the wildest statement I ever heard in my life. Men rely heavily on women to survive. I don't even have to get into that. And this is what's being pushed to women. Men, think about that. Men rely heavily on women to survive. No, we rely heavily on women to help us build a legacy, not to survive. Not to survive. No, that's not a fact. Um, Survival has always been heavily relying upon the men. Men have ensured survival for the entire human race throughout centuries, throughout civilizations and generations. Like, no, the traditional family is going through an attempted assassination. Yeah, I would agree on that. Definitely in America. And what's funny is when listen, no, it's not true, right? If you want to survive a storm, right? Let's say there's a storm, and let's say back in New Orleans during Katrina, and all all the wards were flooded and all that type of shit, and they were doing rescues, right, to help people survive the storm. Was that mostly men or women doing that? They were mostly men. You know, fire department, police department, all these emergency services that we have are basically mostly men, made up of mostly men. You know, if if I'm walking down the street with my family and someone tries to attack us, my wife is not going to jump in front of me and say, "Run, babe, take the kids, I got this." She's not going to do that. She's going to take the kids and run and try to get them to safety while I deal with the threat. I That was a pretty wild statement. That was pretty wild. Even the softest man is going to have to do that. Even the softest man you see it all the time. You see it all the time. You know, couples out in the streets and the girl's getting harassed by some dude, or some shit gets started with some dude, and the softest man, her boyfriend, could be the softest dude on earth. But guess what? He has to put himself between his wife or his girlfriend and the aggressor. He might get knocked the fuck out. I've seen it happen. He might get laid the fuck out. And then, unfortunately, so if the attacker has his bloodlust and he's like, "Oh, fuck it," he might then knock out the girlfriend. But I've seen it plenty of times where the boyfriend, not as hard as the attack, gets knocked the fuck out, and she has him in her arms, and she's like, "Oh, baby, wake up," and the dude the attacker leaves him alone. It's not the woman getting knocked the fuck out first, unless her dude can't keep her back, and she gets herself knocked out. But that's very rare. 9 times out of 10, even the softest dude that don't know how to fight worth a damn is going to be the one that is going to have to face that attack on head first, initially. Even if he just talks it down, even if he de-escalates, he is the one that's going to have to de-escalate the situation. All right, let's chill. And that's it. That is nature. And that's just a small microcosm of the greater society in terms of ensuring survival of the human race. That's just it. Men. Point blank at the period. So I don't know where she got that notion from, but you know, she has a right to her opinion. You know, whatever. I don't care. But I just thought it was crazy. But anyway, I gotta get out of here. Just thought I'd touch on that real quick. Family is very important. Family is important. And I don't even want to say nuclear family, right? Because that just a man, woman, and children. Some men have it in them to have multiple wives, or you know, not legally multiple wives, but multiple women that make up part of the family. Some men are doing that. They, you know, there's a Facebook page of polygamists that I'll look at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not part of it because I'm not a polygamist, but some men can do it. You know. And, you know, to say nuclear family, it kind of places restrictions because a lot of women want the same men. So sometimes you can make it work to where, hey, look, you know, you and you and you, hey, we can make this happen. And that should not be limited either. That, you know, that man could spread his seed amongst 2 or 3 women and have more children and create a bigger family. Now, it reduces the mating pool a little bit. It kind of restricts it because now you got 3 different women having children by the same man, and those children of those women, they can't get it in because they're basically brothers and sisters. So that's really the only downside. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, I mean, China and Japan are pushing their people to have at least 3 children. You know, they had the one China policy. Now they talking about, no, we need to get that back on up to 3, at least. So it is what it is. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm strongly considering arranging marriages for my children, because I feel like it's ultimately my responsibility to make sure that their potential husbands and wives are vetted properly. It's up to me and my wife. Like we have to be involved in the selection process. Help, not force them, but you know, give them some insight. Give them like, look, this guy, you know, he has some issues here and there. He might be good for this, but not for that. Sometimes you got to take it there, you know. And if you can find good families that have good children, you know, they being raised right. Hey, man, you know, you can, hey, make sure that they are around each other. Make sure they get to know each other, you know, at an early age, and good chances of them, you know, building a family together as well. Hey, I'm strongly considering that because, yeah, I'm I'm concerned about my children going out there in the wild dealing with this bullshit. I do the same thing sometimes, Dusty. Everyone, please click the like button if you get anything from this video. Evan of the Wave family, I appreciate that. Dusty. Oh, Dusty, thank you. Oh. So, yeah, much love, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And we're going to continue to march toward freedom. But what are we going to do with that freedom without family, without building strong families and continuing legacy and building communities of like-minded people? What are we going to do without that? I don't know. I don't think there's much we can do without family. All right, much